I'm Ellen again.
Hi, I'm Katie Palka. I'm 17 and I'm from Oregon.
Great. So, Katie, can you tell us about the piece we just heard?
Yeah, so my quartet, Stolen Flight, it's in 4 movements, as you heard. It's about my relationship with my late father, and each movement corresponds to a different memory. And birds were very meaningful in a relationship, so that's why I chose to write about birds. And so each movement corresponds with a different bird. The first movement is Bewick's Wren, and that's about when I was younger, like maybe around 7 or so. We found this nest in a yellow bucket on our porch with Bewick's wrens. And so the movement's very full of that kind of youthful joy, that kind of happy memory. So it's focused on really creating that kind of bright sound. And then the second movement, Hummingbird, explores the idea of hummingbirds as messengers between worlds. So I really focused on the sort of motion of hummingbirds and how they jump to and fro, moving very quickly, almost as if they can sort of appear in one place and then disappear and appear in a different place. And then the third movement, Dark-Eyed Junco, that one relates to there being, there was a tree that we had on his grave in a pot, and it was very stormy in winter when we put it there. But in the spring, there was a nest of dark-eyed juncos in that tree. And so it really is the kind of juxtaposition of new beginnings with this sort of painful ending. But the movement itself focuses mostly just on the image of the stormy winter day with the tree there and the sort of pain of grief. And then the fourth movement, White Gulls, that one relates to a song from the Return of the King movie, because that movie was very meaningful in terms of understanding what I was going through at the time and sort of what it all meant and sort of processing it in whatever way I could. And so that movement really deals with that kind of sense of longing and sort of wish for what could have been, the sort of journey we could have had together if that wasn't taken.
Thank you, Katie, so much for sharing that with us. It was so much fun to work with Katie because every time we talked, she was working on some wildly different piece. And one of the most courageous ones, I think, was this whole orchestra piece for the Metropolitan Youth Symphony. And I was hoping you could just tell us a little bit about what it was like to write for an ensemble that big.
Yeah, so it was really fun writing for orchestra because the larger the ensemble there is, the more instruments there are, so the more variables you have to explore in terms of creating different kinds of sounds, so it was very exciting.
And on the other end of the spectrum, there were some really small and delicate pieces. One of them was just for viola and piano called Fragile Connections. And, can you tell us a little bit just about that piece?
Yeah, so in Fragile Connections, I explored how to create a sense of instability or fragility, unpredictability through mixed meter.
And you've been involved in a few programs for young composers. Can you tell us how it was different to be involved in Luna Lab?
Yeah, it was very different in Luna Lab. I'm used to being either the only or one of the 2 only women in the room, and I've never had a chance to work with a woman as my mentor, so it's just been really inspiring having role models and really seeing the possibility of what you could become.
We can't wait to see where you go.
Thank you.